Hello, welcome to my channel. I am Spirit Medium. I'm here to do a general reading for the collective. Before I jump into the reading, I just wanted to remind everybody, or I just wanted to touch on the fact that if you feel like you've been getting repetitive messages from Spirit, from YouTube, from the messages that keep coming up, just know that your subconscious mind is the very thing that is calling forth that energy. So don't get annoyed, don't get quick to anger when you feel like you keep getting the same information tossed at you. It's just a chance for you to integrate that information so you can move on to the next level and find new questions, new answers to have for yourself. I think it's funny, like, how people will try to not only discredit their subconscious mind and the power that it has to bring you the exact answer to the question you have, but also kind of like to, I think it's funny how I think it's very real. It's like that saying, don't shoot the messenger. I'm just the messenger. It's like, you called me, you called me. Like, I didn't call you, you called me kind of energy, especially when it comes to, like, for example, that's why I like cards and stuff, like tarot readings and everything like that. Because first of all, there's so many different kinds of decks out there. If you just had a regular deck of playing cards, like spades and stuff, there's what, 58 cards in that deck. Even if every tarot reading in the world since the beginning of tarot or beginning of card shuffling had the same deck and shuffled it, whatever, you're never going to get you're never going to get the same hand twice. So when you have so don't, like, it's just funny how people try to discredit that. But even if you get out of like the archetypes and stuff like that of the actual tarot deck and everything like that, and you break it down to numbers, if you break it down to like percentages and what the matrix is made of, which is numbers, right? One and zeros and whatever, stuff like that, you'll see that it is pretty crazy how a lot of readers will kind of have the same message to deliver in their own special way for a certain collective. But it's because, we are all connected. We're all one. So when you get annoyed or exasperated that this message keeps coming up, like, you really can't shoot the messenger, because statistically, numerically, the fact that we're all using different cards, or we all shuffle different, and we have different spreads, like, none of us are ever going to have the same spread, but that we get the same message, it should not cause so much distress. It should cause you peace, knowing that, hey, like, all right, this is the paradigm shift that I'm in. This is the energy that I'm at right now. If I'm tired of this, let me integrate this as best as I can. Let me address it in my subconscious mind and move on to the next, right? So I'll go ahead and jump into the reading now. All right, courage. So it's like every time I've used this deck, this card comes out, which is crazy, right? Because I've put it away, I've shuffled it mad times. You see me shuffle on camera, like the fact that this card keeps jumping out is just reminding you that, right? Let's read it. Courage. I find the inner strength to face fear with confidence. So that's really what you need to be doing right now. Maybe this is something that you need to master. Maybe this is something that you have within you, but you just keep like skipping over that part, or you're not integrating that within you, that the answers are within you. The strength is within you. It's not outside yourself. It's not on YouTube. It's not wherever it is. You're basically just getting confirmation again and again from your higher self that now is the time to be courageous. And when you're courageous, what does that mean? Courageous means you're confident. It means that you have no doubt that even when people, places, things, low vibrational energies come in and try to make you doubt yourself or try to make you fearful, you look past all of that. And that's what you need to do, especially in this, this world that we're living in, a world of illusion, a world of AI, a world of, doppelgangers that want to come in and they basically want to use your essence. And if you're like lost, and if you're in limbo and you don't recognize your true strength, it's all too easy to come and bully you right out of your divinity. So again, be courageous at this time. We have patience. I accept that everything happens in divine order. Because remember, time and space, it's an illusion. It's like a made up thing that we have, that if you want to get down to it like that, that certain energies like to use to make you, they keep you in a little box, you know, they keep you in a little cell by using things like time and space to make you think that you're late or you're too early or you're wrong altogether. But if you have patience within yourself, you start to realize like, hey, like there is no exact timeline. Like my timeline doesn't have to look like my mom and dad's. My timeline doesn't have to look like this person or that person or whatever it is. When you're impatient, basically I'd assume that when you're impatient, it means that you're in a state of comparing. And you know, you can't compete where you don't compare. You can't compare yourself or compete with other people, because their subconscious, their timeline, their purpose, it's going to be different from yours, and that is a good thing. You know, you are unique, you are wonderfully and fearfully made. So just remember that in times of fear, or in times like where you feel like you're late, you know what I just heard, well, I'm late for a very important date, no time to say hello, goodbye, we're late. And what happened? What did that little white rabbit do? You know, people love saying, oh, I checked the white rabbit, the white rabbit. That's just a distraction, you know what I mean? He's just a little worker for, you know, the Queen of Hearts, to be real, which is the ultimate manipulator. So don't let that little white rabbit, don't chase the white rabbit so long that you begin to think that you're at a loss, or like you're late for something. There's something so important going on that you can put your divinity to the side and you can go chase this white rabbit. Nah, have courage and strength and give yourself time, give yourself grace, because what all you do is you put yourself in the vibration of receiving exactly what's for you right when you need it. And that's a wonderful thing. That's a beautiful thing. That's a beautiful power that you harness. So just remember that during this time, okay? Because everything's going to happen right when it needs to. And it's all going to be a reflection of you standing 10 toes down on what you need and what you want for you. Oh, we got 2. That's wild, bro, because I'm so mad because denial came out, right? So denial came out like 3 other times when I used this deck. Denial card, I acknowledge my fear, but I replace it with the insight of awareness. So that's what, again, your higher self is wanting you to do. Your higher self is reminding you like, hey, it's kind of hard for you to do, you know, God shit and God wonders. You know, it's hard for these new paradigms and these new ideas to come in if you're in constant state of denial of who you are and the power that you harness within yourself. So again, when you feel like denial starting to seep in whatever way that is, whether it's somebody outside of yourself judging you, or it's a programmed mind in your brain that starts like, you know, playing that same old record of, oh, you can't do this, you know, you're crazy, you don't know what you're talking about, blah blah blah. Silence that. Just know, like, you know what, I'm no longer in denial of who I am. I'm no longer in denial of the strength that I harness. I'm going to have faith and I'm going to have trust in divine order, because that's when everything becomes perfect. That's when I'm no longer forcing anything. I'm stepping into my power, and everything that I want is going to come to me. And when that happens, you're going to be laughing. Like, with humor here, you're going to be laughing of, you know, you're going to be laughing in a good way, not mocking, but you're going to be laughing at the times that you were insecure, or that you were in a fear-based programming, or even when people try to come in and make you doubt yourself. The most natural thing that you're going to do is you're going to laugh, because you're going to be like, nah, I know myself, and I know my strength. I know that everything happens in divine timing. You're going to laugh at a time when you were in fear, or when you were, you know, neck deep in illusion. You're going to laugh at the fact that, you know, you forgot who you are, because you're this infinite cosmic being. You know what I mean? It's funny that we think that we're just these minuscule, obsolete things that don't matter, when really you are what matters the most, right? Humor says, I choose to focus on the lighter side of life. You choose to focus on the lighter side of life because it's like time of illusion, time of darkness, time of wickedness, it's over. You know what I mean? Like, the fact that it went on for so long is pretty crazy, and the fact that people think that this is something that's going to continue, or that's laughable. You know what I mean? You look around and you see the world, you see the sun, you see the way that the sun is changing, you see the way that the moon is changing, you see the way that the earth itself is changing. A lot of people that are in denial about it, they may be losing themselves, you know, they may be chasing that white rabbit, they may be stuck in fear, but you really can't do anything about that. You really just have to kind of laugh it off, focus on yourself, and trust and believe that you are who you say you are, and everything that you're wanting to call forth is coming for you, right? We have the Great Mother. Surrender to the mystery, fall into her arms. So the Great Mother, surrender to the mystery, fall into her arms. So again, it's like you're on the precipice of change. You're like, right, it's like the Fool card's energy, you know what I mean? A lot of people want to say that the Fool is laughable. You know, they mock the Fool because it's like all you really have when you're in a state of surrender, what you have when you're falling into something, when you're throwing yourself into that abyss, all you really have is faith. All you have is trust in the divine, right? And I feel like you're going to end up laughing because I think there's a quote that says, you'll jump, I don't know a word for word, but it basically says like, you'll jump and you'll either fall and perish, or you'll realize that you can fly, right? And imagine that. Imagine you're like so scared to jump into the unknown. You're so scared to take a leap of faith, and then when you finally do, you land in this motherly love. You land on this bed of flower petals, and you feel silly. You know what I mean? You feel silly that you ever had doubt. You feel silly that you were ever in fear, because now you're in complete and total bliss because of that leap of faith that you took, because you have trust in the Divine Mother. A lot of people say now, a lot of like my teachings, a lot of the people that I tune into, they especially one in particular, she's always talking about how now Kaya, Earth, is in her divine feminine energy. We're no longer in illusion or divine masculine, which is forcing things. We are now sitting in the power of the divine feminine, which is the abundance and creation, and being able to gratefully receive what is yours. So when you spend time in denial, or you spend time worried that you've missed it, or you're impatient with yourself, you basically just scare away your blessings. You scare away bliss. You know what I mean? So we have the Rose Garden, and then we have the Return. The Rose Garden, innocence, forgiveness, be gentle with yourself. And that's exactly right. You know what I mean? Be gentle with yourself. Let yourself laugh. I hate to say it, let yourself live, love, laugh. You know what I mean? Because when you are in that energy, you're in a flow state of mind. You're living in faith every single day. So what that does is it gives you hope. It gives you like a sixth sense to what's coming for you, right? This keeps coming up as well, this whole be gentle with yourself energy, because that's what your higher self, that's what a God energy, that's what the universe itself wants you to do at this time. Because when you go through a lot of change, when you ascend, you deserve to do it with grace. You know what I mean? Again, be patient with yourself. You're not in a rush. It's just an imaginary rat race that they have you trying to run in to compare yourself. Because if you're constantly comparing yourself, you don't know the strength, and you don't know the truth, and you don't know, like, you never tap into your true divinity of who you truly are. And that can make it very difficult, especially if you have this knowing in your heart that you are set apart, that you are special, that you are very rare. If you never give yourself grace, if you're never gentle with yourself, like you're always beating yourself up, it makes it really hard to be and the energy to receive all that is for you, right? So forgive yourself when you were in denial. Forgive yourself when you were in a state of fear. Forgive yourself, laugh it off, and be able to really take a leap of faith and jump into the unknown, because that's where your bliss and that's where all of the wonders that you want for yourself will cultivate, right? We have the return. A new story, you decide, alignment, it's coming together. That's what your higher self is wanting to confirm again and again and again. Have faith in your inner strength. Trust in divine order. Make sure that you're living and moving through the world with awareness and keeping your wits about you and not in a state of fear, because right now you're writing a brand new story that is all for you. It's not your parents writing it. It's not a fear-based program writing it. It's not it's not anything outside of yourself writing this story. You have the pen in your hand. You say what you want. You say how it goes, because you get to decide. You choose. From this point on, you choose to live happily ever after, magically ever after, because that's what you deserve. That's what you want. That's what your subconscious and your angels and your ancestors and your higher self are wanting to remind you, right? They're wanting you to remind you that even though there was a great change and you've changed a lot, everything fell apart, so that way it could all come together better and more perfectly than you could ever imagine. Especially, yeah, it's coming together better than you could ever imagine. All right, y'all, so that was the reading. Subscribe to the channel, like the video, comment down below. I'll see you on the next reading. Bye.